So, I woke up, looked at my phone, was on Reddit, and I saw a thread pop up on my feed. It was titled, "Do not buy the new Spider-Man game. It's gone fully woke." I looked into this thread, and I noticed it was our good friends Kotaku in Action who made this, a subreddit that I didn't know was still active, and I didn't know was still active enough to put stuff on my front page. So I looked at this thread, and I was wondering why has Spider-Man 2 gone so woke? Why should I not buy this game? This man says, "I've been watching a gameplay video of Spider-Man 2, and I've seen enough wokeness in the first 2 hours to convince me that Sony is beyond redemption and can't make a game without injecting wokeness every 5 minutes." And I thought, this man who has not even played the game has decided that this game is irredeemable. He was watching a gameplay video for 2 hours. In 2 hours. He says the first thing that happens is in an early mission where some multiracial he says a multiracial street gang. I was so taken aback when he said a multiracial street gang. Multiracial street gang. Like, not just street gang, multiracial street gang. Like, this dude noticed that there were white people and black people in this street gang. Although, I suppose because he just says multiracial, it could have been Filipino people and white people, or Chinese people and black people, or it could have been the Vietnamese and the Germans working together. He just says multiracial street gang. I was very confused by this one because I don't know that I've ever had anyone ever like say that combination of words, I guess, multiracial street gang. But okay. I mean, I think both street gangs are at some point multiracial, but okay. Is robbing a gun club. Peter goes on a ridiculous anti-gun tirade about how gun clubs don't belong in the city and we need compliment clubs instead. Yeah, Peter, it's real easy for you to say that no one needs guns when you're a superhero that can eat bullets and punch through brick walls. I actually thought of him saying that, and my first thoughts were, dang, that would make like a really interesting plot point. Right? Like, can you imagine, like, there's an expansion pack or something, or in Spider-Man 3, they, like, bring this up? Can you imagine, like, if Punisher or someone, like is talking to Spider-Man, and Spider-Man's like, "Oh, we shouldn't have guns, blah, blah, blah." And Punisher is like, "Oh, you only say that because you're a superhero. For us regular people, we need some way to defend ourselves." And then Spider-Man could respond to that some way, and you could have, like, you know, like an argument between the two of them, right? I was just thinking about that because of the way he phrased it. I was like, this dude, like, maybe that's how they were phrasing it. Maybe it was actually more interesting than you think. Like, just because your main character, the guy who's like the main character of the story, just because he says something doesn't just automatically make it right. You know that, right? Like, but, and this is just me being interested in thinking about a potential plot thread here, right? Like, could you imagine, again, like, maybe not even Punisher, maybe he talks to someone else, Captain America, or even Tony Stark, right? Like, he talks to someone who just disagrees with him, and they get a back and forth, and maybe neither of them is correct, they just, you know, raise an argument, and it raises different thoughts, right? Like, because sure, he's a superhero, so he's anti-gun, but is he only anti-gun because he's a superhero? Has he ever been afraid of guns before? Or, you know, maybe there's someone like Punisher who is being shot at, but still is pro-gun, right? Or maybe there's someone like, I don't even know, Captain America, who's also a human who I think can still die from bullets, but he's anti-gun. You know, I don't know, stuff like that. Just an interesting thought process I had here. He obviously wasn't like the writer of this was obviously not smart enough to like think about that, but something I was thinking about. Okay. Then Peter gets cucked hard by MJ, who is now a butterface. She refuses to move in with him so she can focus on her career, and then gives Harry a kiss on the cheek, and Peter a kiss on the cheek too, rather than the lips. Okay. That's weird. Let me, I want to Google something. So Miles is 17-year-old. How old is Peter? I had to look this up. So Peter is 25 years old. How old is MJ then? MJ is 20? 20? So wait, the wokeness is that a 20-year-old woman wants to focus on her career? She probably hasn't even gotten out of college yet, dude. What the hell? Wait, so this is the huge wokeness? Is she 20? So she's 20 dating a 25-year-old, and she decides to focus on her career. Which, doesn't that seem actually reasonable? Okay. And she doesn't want to move in with him so she can focus on her career. I mean, once again, yeah, I mean, that could just be an excuse. I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe she just doesn't want to move in with someone. I mean, she's 20. I wouldn't want to move in with someone when I'm 20 either. Okay, cool. I don't really, sure, why not? There's just not even enough information here. It just sounds stupid what he's saying. His complaint. Everything he's saying just sounds stupid. Okay, whatever. Not long after, Harry offers Peter a job at ObsCorp's new science facility, which is focused on utopian liberal projects like developing GMO crops. Oh, and the game has a throwaway line about GMO crops being ethical and climate engineering. What is climate engineering? Climate engineering? Climate engineering is the intentional large-scale intervention in Earth's climate system to counter climate change. Well, that sounds like a good thing. Okay. That's a utopian liberal project? Well, maybe the liberals are right then. And he develops... Thank you, Kitty. Thank you, Kitty. Thank you. What do I do here? And he's developing GMO crops. Okay, so the problem with GMO crops is obviously we don't know whether they're right. Obviously, we don't know whether they're wrong. Like, we haven't seen the long-term impact of them. But the problem here is GMO crops have actually been more widespread than you could possibly imagine. I think a lot of people don't really realize how widespread GMOs are. But they are. And so if you're developing climate engineering to stop global warming, that seems like a good thing. And if you're developing GMO crops, like... You know, this thing, the only thing here, like the game is a throwaway line about GMO crops being ethical. Once again, I think the problem is that, like, if someone's working on GMO crops, they're probably going to call them ethical, right? Like, we could agree on that. If it's your literal job, if you're working on it, you know, wouldn't you defend them? Wouldn't someone do that? You know, again, we don't know the long-term impact of them, but the thing is, the world kind of does need GMOs to feed its populace. GMOs are just genetically modified organisms, I think it's called, anyway, or I don't fucking know. At any rate, the problem is we kind of do need them to feed all of humanity because they make larger crops that need less attention to grow, that also are much easier to grow and maybe even grow faster, blah, 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 right? Basically, we can just feed more humans because of GMOs. And so this doesn't, I don't think he really understands nuance or whatever that, because like obviously someone who works on GMOs would defend them. Climate engineering being a utopian liberal project, I don't really understand that one, to be honest, because if you're calling it a utopian liberal project, I feel like maybe that would be a good thing then, right? So you're saying like GMOs and climate engineering are good things? So, okay, whatever. I skipped around a bit. So he only had 2 hours to watch and he skipped around a bit. Wait. He said he was watching a gameplay video. He'd seen enough wokeness in the first 2 hours. But then he's also saying he skipped around a bit. So he didn't even watch the full 2 hours. I skipped around a bit and then stumbled on the YouTuber, so he was watching it on YouTube, doing an early side mission where you have to solve a puzzle at a collection of BIPOC murals. Yes, the game drops that word multiple times, and its pronunciation in the game is enough to make me physically ill. So, this is kind of a tell here. It's just something I noticed really quickly. Basically, he must have seen nothing he could get mad at, so then he skipped around a bit until he saw something he could get mad at. He's like, oh, this is all normal stuff that isn't, I don't lie, I'm not hateful at this thing. Like, he's just skipping forward. I hate this. I don't hate this. I don't hate this. I don't hate this. I don't hate this. Oh, I hate this part. And then he like watches it again, right? Like, I don't understand it. Do you only watch things that you hate? Okay. But then I had to read what BIPOC was. So I went ahead and looked that up. It means, Black Indigenous People of Color. So, Black Indigenous People of Color. He also says the game drops that word multiple times. BIPOC. and its pronunciation in the game is enough to make me physically ill. Well, I pronounce it BIPOC, so does that make any of you guys physically ill? I wonder. If any of you guys are physically ill, please tell me. I'm not. I guess I just don't understand this part because like I'm not in the right wing culture. I don't understand BIPOC being like this huge bad thing. It's just like a description term. It's just Black, Indigenous, people of color. Maybe I guess Black people might not like it because now they're being lumped in here with natives. I guess maybe that's an issue, but I don't think that this poster is Black, so I'm not sure. The other thing I thought is maybe it's like people who got screwed over by white men. So maybe he doesn't like the term because it's like a term for people who get screwed over by white men in America, Black, Indigenous, people of color. I guess maybe that's why he doesn't like the term, because they don't like attention being called to that. I don't know. I couldn't figure it out. Just like God of War 2018, this is a case of developers making a good original game and then turning the wokeness style to 11 in the sequel. I've loved Spider-Man since I was a kid and really liked the 2018 Spider-Man game, but I'm steering far clear of this game. After watching for 2 hours, but not actually 2 hours because he skipped around just to find things that he didn't like. That must be sad when you think about it. Now that I think about it, like the dude is so sad. He literally, he's like, can I play this game? And he goes and he watches a YouTube video of it. And he's like, he's just skipping around to find anything he hates. Then he just finds a bunch of things that he hates. And then he's like, no, I can't buy the video game. So then instead of playing the video game and like having fun and enjoying his life, he then goes and makes a Reddit post. And he spends all his time typing all this up and then replying to everyone. I think he said here, I can't respond to everyone. So my response is to most common mid-wit comment I see. So he sits in this thread replying to everyone, hating on the game, instead of just playing the game. Instead of just playing the game and having fun, instead he just sits here and hates on the game. After watching a YouTube video for 2 hours, but once again, not even 2 hours, because he just skipped around to find enough reasons to hate it to not buy it. So he was just looking for a reason to not buy the game, so then he can make this post, so then he could go agree with everyone else about the game. Don't be a dick wolf. That's in their rules. Don't be a dick wolf. Do they often think about wolf dick? Is that like a right wing thing? Wolf dick? I thought that was more of a furry thing. I think most furries are leftists. Probably. There are right wing furries, obviously. I just thinking about wolf dick here all the time. Okay. Keep in mind, this is just based on 2 first hours of the game. I shudder to imagine what monstrosities are lurking in the rest of the game. Sony, Insomniac, you suck. So far, the terrible... Okay, whatever. Other woke elements. J.J. Jameson is even more of a conservative whack job caricature. Wasn't he always? Was he not? Aren't they literally a conspiracy magazine? No, they're not. No, he's got journalistic integrity, but he's always been kind of a whack job. Have they ever described him as not being a whack job? Like, he's a whack job with integrity, but I'm pretty sure he's always been a whack job. I mean, they've tried to, like, humanize him sometimes, I agree, and sometimes they've described him as a whack job. I guess, depending which game and which description of the character, he could either be like a journalist with integrity who's trying to take down superheroes, or he's just a conservative whack job. Now, this guy calling him a conservative whack job leads me to believe that he does a few whack jobby things while also being a journalist with integrity. That's at least how I would take it, because this guy kind of just like does like anything is everything, I guess is the way I would put it, right? So like if he does one whack job thing, then he would be a 100% whack job character. But like the character, is anyone okay? Even the people who love J.J. Jameson, right? Even the people who love this character and find him like in his better like settings, I guess is the way we're gonna put it, his better descriptions, his better oh god, what's the word I'm thinking of here? Like art pieces, universes. I don't know enough superhero terms. Even in his better depictions, I'll use that word. Like, you have to agree that he is a whack jobby kind of character, right? Like I don't think he was ever intended from the beginning to be a 100% straight on the ball character, right? Like I don't think he was ever. In fact, I think his original description was a whack job character. And then he just got humanized more as time went on to try to make him more of a serious character, because just having a stereotypical whack job character was, probably boring to write. So then they tried to give him more integrity as time went on and to humanize him more. But like if you go back to like the Spider-Man movies, yeah, I mean, he's pretty whack jobby. He just has a few moments of integrity. Anyway, all of the villains or soon to be villains so far are white males. I guess, don't we like the representation then? I mean, as a white man, I think that this says only white men are capable of being supervillains. So when you think about it, this is just another win for white men. Black people aren't strong enough to be supervillains. Don't take that out of context. The principal of Miles' school is a sassy black woman with no hair. Doesn't Miles go to an inner city school? That's at least how I remember it in Into the Spider-Verse, or whatever it's called. The first one? You know what I mean, right? What was the first one? The first movie, where he meets like Mary Jane. Right? Like, I don't get it. So basically he says the principal of an inner city school is a black woman. Oh no, she's sassy. She has an attitude. I've never met a principal with attitude. Okay, cool. The game forces a deaf black girl with zero personality as Miles' love interest. Isn't Miles black? So why does he clarify that she's black? Wait, but up here he had an issue with a multiracial street gang. But then down here, the black guy gets with a black girl. And he takes issue with that too? But I guarantee this guy would have taken issue if he got with a white girl. What if it was a Filipino girl? Would he have an issue with that? Or Vietnamese? I know I kept using the same country. Let's say Indonesian. I don't... He just seems to have an issue with everything. Anything and everything. I think if you gave him any statement, he could somehow find a way to turn it woke. It's interesting. I mean, okay, so I guess I could agree with his... If this was true, I guess I could agree. Like, if he had a love interest and it had no personality, like, that's happened before, right? Like, people have had love interests, like, they introduce a love interest, but they don't flesh them out enough, so they just kind of come off as dead, and you just don't care, right? Like, I'm sure they could have had that writing issue, but, like, lots of shows have had that writing issue, right? They typically make up for it by just making the girl really, really pretty. So then you're like, ooh, she's pretty. And, it's not a personality. But to say his love interest has no personality, like that's a common issue in writing. Both male and female characters have an issue where their love interest has bad writing, For those coming across this thread just now, yes, there's even more wokeness as the game goes on. The college fair Miles goes to has a Planned Parenthood booth. Woo! Advertising abortion services to teenagers. The horror. Is it racist to say that an inner city school having a Planned Parenthood clinic advertising abortion services sounds not really that weird? Is that racist to say that? There's an entire mission where Miles is simping for Black Cat. Okay, so I saw this one, and that's why I looked up Miles's age before I even made this video. Miles is 17, and then I had to look up how Black Cat is depicted in the game, and then I thought to myself, the 17-year-old man is simping for this girl, and I thought to myself, I was just thinking to myself, like, yeah, that seems about right to me. Is that woke? I mean, simping is so common. I've said this before. Simping is so common that we literally had to make a term to describe simping because everyone does it so many times. Like, if you're denying that simping is a thing that your average male does, you're also like denying a lot of other weird things. Like, do prettier girls have it easier in life? Yes. I think we could agree on that. I think women would agree on that. I think feminists would agree on that, right? Like, it's just something that's hard to argue against. But now you're saying that women Like you're saying that simping is woke? I don't know, dude. I feel like subconsciously it's not really woke. Like if there's a door that needs to be opened, you're more likely to open it for the pretty girl than the ugly girl, right? Like, could we all agree on that as a society, that that's just like natural evolution? Like, our brain just works like that because we want to continue to exist as a species? Like, is that woke to say? I don't know. There are pride flags everywhere. Yeah, welcome to the city, dude. I could go outside my apartment. I'll find pride flags, such as when you first go to the service center and look at the scientist's desk. Yeah, people put pride flags everywhere, even people that aren't gay. I see straight people use pride flags so often. At this point, it just comes across as silly, right? Like, people just put it everywhere. But, you know, to say that it's woke to acknowledge reality, like, yeah, of course, dude, reality is right there. There are a lot of other woke details in the environment, like all genders bathrooms. Dude, once again, I could go outside my apartment and the bathroom in the lobby is an all gender bathroom. Because it's just the one. In fact, every bathroom in my apartment complex is all gender. Okay. Is it because they call it all gender? But like, how else would you describe it? I don't get it. Characters have been uglified. Have they? Have they been uglified? I guess she's got a little bit more of a chin. Can we find... Is it just because she has more of a chin? Is that it? Okay. Mary Jane in particular looks like she just got facial reconstruction from Mr. Magoo. Okay, let's look at this. Mary Jane Spider-Man 2 game. Okay, let's look at her. Everyone keeps using this picture, which leads me to believe this is not what she usually looks like. Yeah, it literally, everyone's just using this as the one picture. Let's look. Everyone's using the one picture, which leads me to believe I need to look at a different picture because everyone just chose one picture that has a bad angle. That's a Spider-Man PS4. Everyone's using the one picture. You see this little trick they do, a lot of websites do to get you mad. What they do is they all use the same picture. I'm trying to see where she looks terrible though, because even in that picture, even in this picture, she doesn't really look bad. Is there no other? Seriously? I can't. I don't know, dude. I can't see it. Sorry to say, my dude. I can't respond. I mean, she doesn't look like an elf, I guess. So she's bad. She doesn't literally look like an elf. Can I? Mary Jane betrays Peter partner. Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Mary Jane scenes comparison.
He's here.
Walk down the hall!
Next week, we were gonna make a potato-powered helicopter.
God, he's such a nerd.
This is my best friend, Harry.
Hey, good to meet you.
Good job, huh?
I have another name for
He's
you.
not himself. Go help him.
Once again, I think her chin's a little big, but this seems to be a feature that whoever did the models just seems to give them big chins. Well, I mean, it's not even big. It's just like, you know what I mean? Larger? This seems to just be whoever was modeling them did that. Dude, Peter is such a nerd, though. God, I heard his voice once, and I was like, what a nerd. He's so nerdy. Okay. I can't respond to everyone, so here's my response to the most common midwit comment I see defending this game. Basic pattern recognition skills go a long way in realizing how far the Overton window has been pushed in gaming. BIPOC is a prime example. The game goes out of its way to force this word, which only exists in urban cities. Where do you think you are in this game? Wait, what? Oh, wait. Yeah, her chin's just a little big. I'm not sure what to say. Dude, where do you think you are in this game? Seriously, where does he think this takes place? I don't understand. This would be like making a game in the South, and then you have a character go, "Oh, bless your heart," and you're like, "That only exists in Southern." You're like, what? I don't understand. Dude, Spiderman is a hero from the city, or liberal enclaves right into your face. Okay, I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm fairly certain that Peter Parker has always been liberal. I'm fairly certain that Miles, by extension, is going to be a liberal character. Like, I'm sorry to say, if you want a more right-wing character, maybe try Punisher? Maybe try to go to Punisher? I don't know. That's just me, right? Like, I don't know. It just seems really weird to me that you're mad at the urban liberal game for being, like, having urban liberal lingo, right? Another edit. Exhibit A. Oh yeah, I saw this. Dude, have you been in a city? Because shit like this is in a city. I saw this and I was like, okay, what? What? Have people ever been into a city? Serious question. Have people ever been in a city? Okay, whatever. Exhibit B. Pride flags and a rainbow. Okay, I find this one particularly funny because if you notice where these are, okay, now that I look at it, I think this one's really funny. There's a building here and a building here, meaning if you were crossing by the street, you would very likely not notice this. So if you're just web slinging from like up here, you would not notice this. So that means they put this into like a backlit area that you wouldn't notice on a regular run. At least that's my impression, just looking at it, right? And then this guy found it, took a picture of it, and now he's like, the woke liberals, no. I don't know. Just me? Okay, that's it. That's all the wokeism in Spider-Man. I'm gonna be honest. Do some games go a little bit far? Yes. Do some shows go a little bit far? Yes. But you're depicting a liberal dude who lives. By the way, can we? He's making me do it, and it's starting to piss me off. In urban city. The city is urban. It's an urban city. He's making me do it because he said it, and it's so stupid. Now I feel like I'm getting sucked into the stupidity. An urban city. Anyway, a liberal in an urban city might probably be using liberal lingo. Yes. That probably makes the game more believable when you actually think about it. Yeah. You've never seen such a grotesque display of pride flags. Really? The one that's shoved into a back alley? This is the most grotesque display you've ever seen? Really? Okay, so that's it, guys. I wanted to say, I was going to show on this one. This is the current highest voted thread on Kotaku in Action. I had to check that, and that's why I got onto my front page, because it just has way more upvotes than like any of the other stuff. What was that one? Endless Dungeon developer comment? Hi there, we're an inclusive studio and we're trying to create games that reflect our values. We won't apologize about it, and we're proud to showcase diversity in Endless Dungeon. You're obviously free not to buy our game. Have a nice rest of your day. And that made them angry. Oh man. Cool. Yep. Well, that's the review of Kotaku in Action. Kotaku in Action, did you know it's still around? Well, not really. There's only 500 people here. That's quite low. Here, don't just take my word for it. What's like a mid-tier subreddit? Reddit or Total War, maybe? Total War is 2.3k online. So, yeah. So not really still around. Sorry guys, it seems you lost the culture war. Anyway, have a great rest of your day, everybody.